Guys, welcome back to Orms TV, and today we have a very special guest here. It's Craig Rhodes-Harrison. He is a GoPro ambassador, partner in a company, WildAir, who do some amazing work on GoPro. And as a little bonus, we have the brand new GoPro Hero7 here for you today, and we are going to run through the features, everything that's new, everything that's special about this little camera. So join us for that. So the all-new GoPro Hero7 Black launches today. So Craig, you've been using it for the last couple of days, couple of weeks?
Couple of days, yeah.
Couple of days
it's
with that
pretty
unit?
fresh in our hands.
Excellent, excellent. Just in terms of what's new on the camera, so we know we have the brand new Hyper Smooth. We've got in-camera hyperlapse on the camera as well. We've got the new Facebook live streaming in there and an all-new interface. If there's one feature that stands out for you over the last couple of days in using it, what would that be?
To be honest, I'm going to go straight for Hyper Smooth.
Yeah.
Coming from like the action, sports, adventure, and the outdoor side of things, like that functionality for us is just a game changer because it allows you to literally have gimbal-like stability in the camera so that no matter what you're doing, you pick up that camera, you don't have to worry about adding another gimbal or anything like that. It's straight on the trails or on the mountains, whatever you are, whatever you're doing, and you're going to capture that like silky smooth footage, which is, yeah, it's a must, and it's amazing for us.
Perfect. So a lot of what you do is based around mountain biking, and we're showing some footage right now of the Euro 7 straight next to the Euro 6, and you going down a trail.
Yeah.
Just in terms of that, like, what does that bring to your production? Because I know you guys do a lot of work producing a weekly mountain bike show. Just taking that need for more gimbal shots out of it?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because you've got to find that balance for like the super cinematic, like silky smooth stuff, but also highlighting the actual technical difficulty of that trail. So sometimes gimbals can actually take that out, but at the same time, like there's nothing worse than watching something where the camera is like, you kind of get motion sickness from watching it. So for us, like the fact that we can do this actually means that we can do more with the stability because it's also having a big gimbal mounted on your chest or on your helmet, like it's a bit cumbersome. And that's why we actually prefer to shoot on the 6 without that because it just gives you that more immersive feel. But now with the 7, you've got the immersive feel and you've got the natural body movements. It doesn't like change the axis. It goes with how your body is moving on the bike or on when you're running or whatever you're doing. But at the same time, it's producing that beautifully crystal clear and smooth image, which is kind of the best of both worlds for us.
So in addition to the hyper smooth stabilization that you've got, they've also now added in-body hyperlapse. How are you guys finding using that in your operation? Again,
like a really nifty feature. We've used the concept of it in our productions, and I've used it in my personal capacity for years, but it was always something that like, it just takes a bit more time in post because it's like you've got to use this long clip and that's taken up a lot of memory space on your card, and then it's like, hold on, now you got to go and trim all of that, and it's like, it's a bit of a mission. But now the fact that you've got that in the camera makes it like super easy because also then you've got, I think it's like 10 different speed options.
Okay.
So you can see how long you want to make it and how fast you want that footage to be. But at the same time, again, it's still stable. So it's like you can run around or cruise through, and whether it's doing something on the sportive side or on the lifestyle side, it applies to both. And you've got options of how you want it to come out. And all in camera. So it's simple, super easy. You don't have to be like an expert in post to be able to use it, which is awesome.
Then also just in terms of the general operation of the camera, I know GoPro changed that quite a lot as well, tried to make it a little bit more smartphone-like. How have you found that in your testing?
Yeah, so definitely like picking it up for the first time, the interface was immediately like more streamlined. It was simple and also actually more of the screen was visible. So therefore like before you kind of felt like, is the bottom of my shot being cropped off or where does the actual bottom of the footage lie? So that now it's like it's made it a lot more visible, which has been rad, but then at the same time the fact that it's easier to navigate, it very much follows the phone like of the whole swiping directions and that, and I think they've got that quite a bit like better than the previous generation of the camera, and I think that's what's going to make it just, again, like a little bit easier for people to pick up for the first time and get comfortable shooting with it within like a couple of minutes. Okay, perfect. So would you sort of say that if you were a owner of a, say you're still sitting with a Euro 3 or a Euro 4, the right time to upgrade, if this is your first time climbing in,
would you recommend something like this? Would that be a good place to start then?
Yeah, I think what's happening over the years with the GoPro evolution of the cameras is that they're not only like getting better and better from a production perspective, but they're also figuring out ways to simplify the camera so that it isn't as daunting. I mean, cameras in general, like if you're absolutely clueless, like it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, kind of picking it up, being like, okay, so what do I do? Whereas I think now in the 7 as well, they've just taken it a step further to try and simplify that first-time use. And so that someone can pick it up and without an instruction manual, figure out within 5 minutes exactly what the camera, like how it works, what you need to do to activate what settings, what modes, and basically get the best possible result without like the headache.
GoPro has now integrated Facebook Live streaming with this device, which is a first for any action camera out there. How do you think that's going to factor into specifically your operation, but also general public out there?
Yeah, I think it's something that's been coming for a while, and I know we've certainly been wanting it because it's like you've got the most rugged action camera possible, or a camera that can go in pretty much any scenario, and we personally use it for a lot of event coverage. But at the same time, it's like you would have to somehow find a way of pulling it from this, uploading it to something else, another server, and then from there pushing it live. Whereas the fact that now this can stream straight to your phone, which is plugged into Facebook Live, I mean, that's game changing. And then the fact is that you've got all those rad functionalities in the camera, so it's stable and you can have all cool little like functions and that here and there is great. But at the same time, it's like it's straight to Facebook. You don't have to have that like other thing. Whereas like the phone, let's say you're using that, it's not as stable, or you got to run a gimbal and you power banking and all those things. It's like now Hero7 chasing events or broadcasting you and your mates on the beach, like having a good time. It's quite cool. Like you can use it for a whole lot of different functionalities. It doesn't only apply to capturing sport. It can be used in a lifestyle context at festivals. I mean, we know how much the live functionality or that feature is such a thing, and it's such a fad and trend now across all ages and all different applications. So the fact that GoPro's tapped into that, as I think, is a big strength for them, and it's well played.
So other than those features that we just covered, on the face of it, the camera looks pretty much identical, except that the Hero7 Black is now actually black, which I think is a pretty cool move. Still compatible with all of your accessories. You know, if you're a current GoPro owner, everything that you've built up in the last couple of years will work with this. You're running 12 megapixel stills, 4K video at 60 frames a second, which is still fantastic.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned that there is a little bit of a change in the color profile. You wanna touch on that?
Yeah. So as you said, everything's pretty much exactly the same, which is cool. The ecosystem is identical, and that's what I think is gonna just be a good move for everyone, because they're not gonna be like, oh no, I need to go invest in everything else. But some of the smaller things that I've noticed just in the last few days of using it, and not like the big new features, is one of those things: image profile. Specifically the color. So it's been interesting, like comparing the color of the 7 versus 6. I think working with this in post, you're going to get a much richer image. I think they've got the contrast and the color balance really nicely, so that yes, GoPro color is going to be great for your everyday user. First time pick it up, you got the right color, that's cool. But in terms of like the level above that, or those like looking to get to that professional level, flat profile really is good, because I just think they've got the balance correct now. The 6 almost seemed a bit too colorful, whereas this one, it's a little bit more flatter, but there's the right ingredients in there to be able to pull it out in post, and you've got like a really cinematic grade image, so that it doesn't just look like GoPro action camera footage.
You guys do a weekly mountain bike show. Comes out every week, and it is shot exclusively on GoPro. Are you guys moving over to Hero7s?
Yeah, you can bet that we are. It's been cool playing with it just in the last couple of days. I mean, we've already shot an episode dedicated to the 7 Black launch.
Okay.
And so we had some fun putting that together. But I think like already in terms of those couple of features that we've listed, so I mean, hyper smooth, the fact that we don't have to use gimbals when not only on the bike but also tracking the bike, and tracking people on the bicycles, whether it's at events or on the trails, all those types of things. So hyper smooth, definitely hyperlapse, like the transitions between like, cool, we wanted to test bikes going down a hill, but we need to get up the hill. But now you can show that uphill because you've got hyperlapse.
Yeah, exactly.
And therefore it's like, it just adds those other unique elements that is going to make our overall production a lot richer. And then, as you said, down the line, live coming out, I mean, we're going to be able to broadcast from the trails. So it's going to be like, hey guys, we're here with a couple of mates, we're going to drop in on a new section. Or we're coming at you from one of the big stage races around South Africa. check it out as it's happening, unfolding. So those types of things, it's definitely something that we're already hugely excited about. It's going to be completely a part of our production plan going forward. It'll be our go-to camera for sure.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much for joining us for our first look at the GoPro Hero7. I'm sure you're going to see a lot more content coming out on that. If you want to see more action-orientated stuff, specifically shot with the Hero7, head over to WildAir TV on YouTube. We've got their links below, also their social media and subscription options for them. And Craig, from Orms' side, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For shooting that epic footage for us and for giving us a little bit of insight and actually using the Hero7 in a both a lifestyle and as a company that actually produces content on it. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. It's been awesome to be with you guys. Awesome to chat through a new feature. Super stoked on it and excited to see what comes of it from everyone out there.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, guys, as always, thank you very much for joining us. If you enjoyed that video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. We love hearing from you guys. Thank you very much.